Oh man, not again. As the old man from Christmas Story would say, it's a clinker. It's a clinker. Now what's going on? Code 74, no 230 volts to compressor. And it's active. For whatever reason, the outside, this is a heat pump, but same thing would happen with an air conditioner. So the first thing that we'll do is check the circuit breaker. Well, no problem here. Hasn't tripped, but cycle it anyways. So let's go outside. If you've got a disconnect on the outside, which is code in most places, you should be checking that to make sure it's turned on. And it is, but as we can also tell, the unit is actually running. However, only the fan is running. This, by the way, is a Bryant or Carrier 63A, 64A, 65A, so if you've got any of those models, this will be directly applicable to that. There's 6 screws to get this panel off, and that's what we've got to take off to access the electronics inside. Now, of course, this is an informational video. If you're not comfortable working around, this thing's being fed 240 volts AC. If you're not comfortable working around this stuff, don't even touch it. Call an HVAC professional. But as a do-it-yourselfer, if you're into that kind of stuff like I am, go for it. And this is a good time probably to cut your external cutoff, just to turn it off so nothing's energized when you open this panel up. We'll be turning that back on though to check it out. So these are just 5/16 screws. Buzz these off real quick. So with all the screws out, it should just pop off. There's all the goodness. Now, this is the key to figuring all this stuff out. Hopefully you've got a panel with a schematic on the back so we can see what's going on. This is very helpful. This one actually also has the codes down. And if you remember from the inside, we were getting a code 74, which is no 230 volts at compressor. So you can confirm that here. And if we look at the panel, we'll just zoom in on the control board here. If you see all these cobwebs around here, that's a good reason why every year you should open this up. If you're not comfortable opening it up, call somebody in to do it, because these things get cobwebs, spiders in them. We have a bad ant problem here too. I've seen ant nests in here, so every year I will clean this out. May as well be doing it right now. But what I wanted to show here was these status indicators. So this is one of these Evolution communicating systems. So you've got a green LED for communication status. It's basically on a network bus. It's communicating with the fan coil inside or your furnace. Your status LED should also, if you don't have an Evolution system that you can look at the thermostat what the code is, trouble code should also be flashing here. So if we look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 7 shorts, 4 longs, code 74. So we've confirmed it's code 74, meaning the compressor isn't getting power for some reason. Now, let's get out our handy multimeter. I'm going to turn the power back on with our disconnect out here. Again, I can tell the compressor isn't running. I'm just going to reposition the camera again. And yeah, that's another thing that's kind of interesting. A lot of people might think these boards are encased in some watertight casing. Nope, they're just, basically behind that inspection shield. The main thing that turns the compressor on is this contactor right here. So this is basically just a relay for very high current. Just like a relay to close these 2 contacts. Whatever you do, don't touch this. And it closes the common loop of the compressor. We'll look at that on the schematic. So we've got both our hot lines feeding here, the red and the black. One side's 120, the other side's 120, so we've got 240. And the red looks like it feeds right through. And then the black, the common, is the one that the contactor is is controlling. So either that contact is not closing or something else is going on. So we need our multimeter out to determine if that contact is closed. Now again, if you don't know what you're doing here, don't attempt this. So the first thing I'm going to do is see how much line voltage we've got by going across those two red and black inputs on the contactor. So 40 volts, 241, almost 242. Now to see if we've got continuity at the top of the contactor on that non-switch terminal, we'll probe it up there. So we've got 240 there. Now we're going to go back down to this one, and we're going to probe across to the top. Sorry for my head, but I want to make sure I don't short anything out. And we've got no voltage there. So the contactor is not closing. There's two things to suspect at this point. One is a faulty contactor, or the other is the contactor not getting a signal from the board. And to determine that, we have to look at our schematic first to figure out what we've got to look at. So when we look at our schematic here, here's our compressor. Compressors will always have three wires going to them, a C, an S, and an R. That stands for the common wire, the starter, and the run. Now the yellow that feeds the run, if we trace that back, it goes right to power in. So here's our L2 that goes straight across, that's the contactor there. So our line 2, which is the red wire on our unit, it goes straight through and feeds the run of the compressor. The black that comes off the compressor is the one that goes to that switched contact on the contactor that's not closing. So that's why the compressor is likely not running. This is not closing. And then the blue is the starter, which goes to the capacitor. And most air conditioners and heat pumps, they'll have a 3-pin capacitor. There's a common, and then one side that's for the starting coil in the compressor, and the other side an F, which is the starting coil for the fan motor. Contactor is not closing. Here's the little contact coil that energizes the contactor. Again, it's basically a big current relay. So the little coil gets energized by a lower voltage, pulls the contactor down to make contact. It's not doing that. So contactor's either shot or it's not getting a signal from this CC on the board, the CC connector. And if we look at it, there's a yellow and a blue wire to it, and a brown and a yellow, which we will confirm. And we're going to probe these with the meter, pin 1 and 3, to see if there's voltage going to the contactor here. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm going to see if there's any voltage coming out of that CC plug that energizes the coil. And we're on the AC scale. So I'm guessing it'll be what it's getting fed from the fan coil, which is around 30 volts AC, which we're getting. So that contactor is getting fed the signal to close through this. So here's the contactor. Now this is actually closed. The contactor is closed. I've got my 240 volts there. If I probe this side of the contactor, still have 240 volts. Probe this side, 240. If I go up to the pin out, nothing, 0.9 volts. So there's something shot between the contact point and that, the output screw there. And I'll just turn the power off and you can see the contactor. Watch that little block there. So there you can see the contactor. If I pull that, I don't know if you saw what I was doing there. I'm just pulling that plug, and you can see there's the contactor. So we know the contactor is energizing. Next thing is to pull that contactor out. I'm just in continuity here. So I've got continuity on that side, continuity there. When we press the contactor down, there's the contactor switch. So press it down as if it was being energized. Got continuity there. Obviously we've got continuity on that side. Get my big fat paw out of the way. But nothing here. So we've got it on the pad. Nothing there. I can't really see anything going on in there other than it must be really burnt and pitted. I'm going to see if I can take this this out. Looks like we can take the bottom contact pad out by this Phillips screw here. And we might be able to get this out if we take, there's the coil for the electromagnet. That's what pulls the contactor down. I think we can take this base off. We might be able to pull this out and get this out so we can look at those contact points. Really, guys, yeah, you probably want to order a new one now. But if you're in a bind, you could do this, take this apart, see if we can clean these points up, at least to give you a couple, 3 weeks, if it takes a long time to order that in. Now, so when you take that back plate out, the electromagnet does come out, but you still can't get the contactor out. Oh, and here's the plate that came out. Yeah, and it's completely nuked. So yeah, there's just so much carbon pitting on there. The points are just pitted to shit. So, and I'm guessing this one is too. I think to get this out, what we're gonna have to do is take that little spring out, and then this arm, we'll be able to rotate it sideways to pull it out. Just got it out. They're both pretty bad, but this was the bottom one. Well, I'm just going to take some fine emery cloth to both of these, clean them up. There's the upper contact. It's not as in bad shape as this lower one, but as you can see, this was a unit waiting to quit. These points actually cleaned up really nice. Just used my wire wheel on a Dremel, and yeah, there's still, there's some pits in them. I didn't go down to bare copper when I cleaned them up. I kind of thought I would, but there's still the coating on them, the silver coating. These might actually last for a while, but I'm still going to order up another contactor. Just in case anyone's curious, these things are dirt cheap. 16 bucks on Amazon.com, 3100 15Q228. That's what we got. Working great. The status LED is no longer flashing a code, it's just flashing to say it's working. And if we probe our inputs here, so again we're getting 243, but now when we go up to the upper one, 243, so it's passing current. So if you can read a schematic, you're familiar with this kind of stuff, pretty easy to do. Obviously contactors are the most common thing probably to fail on these things to go, but it cleaned up pretty nice. Gonna order another one, but those points, they didn't look too bad. So it could last another few years with those, who knows. One thing obviously, good idea to clean this out yearly. I've cleaned it all out. I had the vacuum in here. I just put it on the blow and blew all the dust out. Yeah, if you've got ants and spiders, these things are notorious for getting dirt and everything in them, and it can cause lots of problems. So even if you don't have any issues, no malfunction call, technician kind of deal on your thermostat, every year, good idea to clean all this stuff out or hire someone to do it. Cheers folks, have a good one.